Well, it was a day of fun in Orrington today as Raining Hope Ranch held their 5th annual Fall Festival, their largest fundraising event of the year. A variety of local vendors and artisans filled the ranch grounds, showing off the crafts of the community. While browsing these wares, guests could also listen to live music, eat good food, and interact with the many animals at the ranch. Now, these included the horses and ponies that the ranch is known for, offering rides and demonstrations. Raining Hope Ranch is a nonprofit providing equine-based therapy for those hoping to overcome any physical, emotional, or psychological challenges that they may face. As a nonprofit, it's community support that allows the ranch to continue its work.
They're not necessarily just supporting the ranch and the horses, but they're supporting the people that need the services the most. And so their gift and their investment in the organization is really just giving the gift of hope and resilience and healing for so many people.
Raining Hope Ranch's Fall Festival intends to return next year. More information and ways to donate to Raining Hope Ranch can be found at raininghoperanch.com.